Very exciting day today. Very exciting day. A match day vlog? Are you kidding me? A match day vlog? Chad, it's time to dive in. You know the rules. First watch, 0 pauses. No matter how much we might want to pause, we will resist the urge so that we can enjoy and take in this match day experience video that they have decided to post, okay? Please be good.
Football Manager 26 marks the next evolution of football management, a legacy redefined for a new era, and with the most advanced match experience in series history. This is the future of football storytelling. That means hundreds of new player animations, updated camera angles, a redefined highlight system, brand new cutscenes, improved lighting, richer pitch textures, and upgraded stadiums, all elevated by the Unity engine. All of this comes together to raise immersion to new heights, unlocking the most authentic football simulation yet. And for the very first time, that includes the women's game. On the pitch, movement feels fluid, natural, and truer to football. This year, we've taken the use of volumetric animations even further, with new, on-the-ball animations all powered by Hawkeye Innovations. Captured from real stadiums, with real players delivering the authentic movement of the world's best. This brings football to life like never before. From dribbles to passes, shots and more, every touch, every action, more real than ever. We've taken the same approach with female players, blending real match action and bespoke motion capture to reflect the unique ways women move, authentically representing the women's game in FM26 for the very first time. But our FM26 match improvements go beyond just animations, with various elements of the match engine itself rewritten. For example, attacking players are now better equipped to stand up their opponents before deciding to take them on, alongside an overhauled pass risk system, meaning you'll see more passes through traffic in the middle of the pitch. Of course, that's not all. You'll learn more about further match AI improvements when we dive deeper into FM26's new tactical tools. No matter who you're managing, you'll feel closer to every moment thanks to a rebuilt camera system that covers a much wider range of angles across the pitch. Inspired by real-life TV coverage, a brand new broadcast mode combines multiple camera points and all new cinematic angles to give you the best view of the action. With major audio improvements, FM26 doesn't just look like real football, it sounds like it too. And it goes further. Replays have had an overhaul. With a range of bespoke new angles added, FM26 now looks at the type of goal scored to give you the best possible replay, ensuring you're always given the perfect view, however it hits the back of the net. Also new this year, Dynamic Mode, a highlight option that adapts to every match, giving you the moments that matter most. In a close or crucial match, highlights will increase as full time approaches, but if you coast into victory, you'll see fewer, letting the result play out as you close in on the win. Dynamic Mode reflects the match, the drama, the action, and the glory. Upgraded stadiums breathe new life into every match day, from elite arenas to lower league grounds, with surrounding environments elevated significantly. FM26 now better reflects the location, stature, and standing of your club. On the pitch, a dramatic overhaul of lighting and textures transforms every detail, making each match look and feel truly authentic. This comes together to deliver brand new cutscenes, making every match day more immersive and those big occasions even more special. Between the action, a brand new match overview screen puts everything in front of you, with a classic 2D view built in, giving you a clearer picture of your team's performance before you're pulled back into the action. Here, live match info and real-time advice from your assistant manager are always at hand, while expandable data cards give you deeper insight, powering smarter decisions as you chase victory. So step into the dugout and get closer to the action than ever, where every match tells its story. It's time to change the game.
Bro, I almost paused that half a second in. Reflexively, I got so close to pausing it, I touched the space bar before I stopped myself. It's the same. It's not even a song. It's like a 30-second loop or something. They just, the moment it dropped, I was like, bro, we're going to get this for all 330? And they were like, yeah, we are. We are. The only other time that I almost paused was to dump on them for using the word bespoke. It's the stupidest word in the English language. It drives me absolutely insane. The word bespoke is the linguistic embodiment of pretentious. If you had to, bespoke. Bespoke is just a useless word made for a particular customer or user. I just hate, it's such a pretentious word. I hate the word bespoke. It sucks. We need to get rid of it. Okay, they reused the same song. There was actually a bunch of good stuff in there, though. Yeah, I want to like
the next evolution of football
break the
management,
clips down now.
legacy redefined for a new era.
Yeah, this is all like the mumbo jumbo, like
And
hype
the
stuff.
most advanced match experience in
That
series
is not a revolutionary
This
move.
is the future of football
That is not a
storytelling
revolutionary move. Dude, the celebration's brutal. I don't know what this is.
in series history. This
You know, I'll be honest. Once I got used to the lighting and everything and the graphics, let's just keep going.
is the future of football storytelling.
Let's just keep
That
going.
means hundreds of new player animations, updated camera angles, a redefined highlights.
Because there were some highlights in here that I was like, damn, that looked really good.
Richer pitch textures and upgraded stadiums, all elevated by the Unity engine.
That's a nice touch. This is a nice touch that this guy takes on this crossfield pass.
By the Unity engine.
But like he glides to get there. You know, it's still not smooth. And I think what I was hoping with the transition to Unity was that it would be smoother. But I think what we've found is that the reason for that isn't the graphics, it's the match engine. The match engine is the limiting factor pretty significantly now.
All this comes together to raise immersion to new heights, unlocking the most authentic football simulation yet. And for the very first time, that includes the women's game.
They didn't have to do the women's game like this where the entire defense forgot the offside rule, but whatever.
On the pitch, movement feels fluid.
See, what they're saying though is that we're going to get more of these passes.
The women's game. On the pitch, movement feels
Like that's a really sick pass.
truer to football.
And this animation that they show with the squaring the ball is also really, really good.
Fluid, natural, and truer to football.
Hey! Yeah, there are no graphical limitations for Football Manager at all at this point. It is purely down to what they can do with the match engine and what they can do with themselves working within Unity. There are no more limitations for them. Now, the cutback was nice. That's really nice, actually.
On the pitch, movement feels fluid.
Like, this
natural,
cutback's
and truer to
nice.
football.
You can tell, like, they talk about the Hawkeye thing later. You can tell they've added more into the game. Thank you, Andre. You can tell they've added more into the game.
Taking the use of volumetric
That's a sick
animations even
move.
further, with new on-the-ball animation.
The dribbling looks better.
by Hawkeye
It's not
Innovations.
like a
From real
giant
stadiums
leap.
with
But Hawkeye captures, like, it basically does mocap in stadiums. So instead of having to get people in studio to do motion capture, they do motion capture of, like, the way players move in stadiums.
real players delivering the authentic.
And so you're
movement
able to get, like, a
of
much
best.
larger
This
sample
brings football
size
to
of
life like
player
never before.
movements to put into the
Dribbles to
game.
passes
That was nice.
of the world's
Look at
best.
this dribble
This
move. I
brings
mean, he, like,
football to
sets
life
him
like
up. I think one of the biggest differences that we'll notice is that they talk about it later in this video. They're going to look to stand up defenders to go by them. They never really did that in Football Manager before, and it's something, you know, such a traditional part of
Taking
football.
the same approach with female players, blending real match action and bespoke motion capture to reflect the unique ways women move, authentically representing the women's game in FM26 for the very first time.
Nice.
But our FM26 match improvements go beyond just animations, with various elements of
Yeah,
the
you're going to
match
get... Oh.
engine itself.
You know what? I'll give him credit. He, like, didn't phase into the post. He just bounced off of it. That is an improvement.
For example, attacking players are now better equipped to stand up their opponents before deciding to take
Yeah,
them.
like, that's nice.
Alongside
Like, you see, he has, like, the setup dribble. They've added the setup dribble. You know what I mean? Like the... And then go. Instead of just get the ball and... They take the ball and they go... And go. And go. So the match clock stops during highlights. I mean, this is like an alpha version. I would imagine that's an easy fix. Be really funny if they released a full game where that was the
See more
case, though.
passes through traffic in the middle of the pitch. Of course, that's not all.
Seeing a lot of
We'll learn more
chips
about
is what I'm
further
seeing.
match AI improvements when we dive deeper into FM26.
Yeah, good body movement on the cross. That header felt better, if we're being honest. That header did feel better. We got some upper body movement in there and everything. I wonder why the physics engine makes it so glidey. Yeah, I mean, as far as I understood, a physics engine, I don't think they have that. But like a physics engine is supposed to ground the world, where like things have mass, and there's like mass reaction calculation going on. I don't think they have a physics engine. This corner angle rocks. Yes, this corner, the new camera. Yeah, we haven't talked about the new camera angles yet. I'm assuming that part of the video is coming up. That's really good. Like having more of the cameras, the dynamic highlight stuff, we'll talk all about that. But this is a great camera angle for the corner.
You'll feel closer to every moment thanks to a rebuilt camera system
Classic Football Manager goalkeeping there.
that covers
Vintage.
a much wider range of angles across the pitch, inspired by real-life TV.
That was good. That was a good finish. You don't get that in any other FM. Like he could shoot it with either
Broadcast
foot and
mode
flicks it with the
combines
outside of the
multiple
left.
camera points and all new cinematic angles to give you the best view of the action. With major audio improvements, FM26.
This was the highlight. This highlight that's about to happen is my favorite highlight that's in this entire thing. My favorite highlight that is in this entire thing.
Angles to give you the best view of the action. With major audio improvements,
this
FM26
it's a 1-2.
Like
even the finish, it's not some comically big kick like you see when tap-ins in Football Manager, and we've seen in multiple of the highlights here. It's not a comically massive kick. It's a redirection. This is gorgeous. They should have just shown this. Erling Haaland lays it off. We see a little body contortion for the delivery. That looks good, right? Taking on the short hop. He's taking it in a way that would, like, one of the harder things to do, I would imagine, making this game, is to have players strike the ball in the animation the way that the ball comes out. And that's exactly what's happened here. He strikes the ball in a way that would produce the way the ball is delivered. He chops down at it to give it that kind of hydroplaning backspin, and then it's just tapped in. It's such a good highlight. I hope that as this game progresses and gets into the final release on November 4th, that more and more of the highlights look like that. That's another good-looking highlight right there.
FM26 now looks at the type of goal scored to give you the best.
I've never seen a goal like that before in Football Manager.
View, however it hits the back of the net. Also new this year.
This is the screen I want to pause on. They just leaked in possession, didn't they? Always look at the background first. They just leaked in possession for sure. It's right there. Formation, parentheses, IP. Nah, dude, it just stands for index finger with a PH. You see it clearly later? I don't need later. I'm a detective. Verticals. I don't think they've added any new views, but they said the broadcast has more cameras. But they've leaked in possession and out of possession tactics for sure. Formation, parentheses, IP. I mean, they might have just done it on purpose. So that, I mean, look, long rumored. We basically already knew it was in the game. And now, I mean, we can see the way it would look. Because you have your, like, formation, in possession. Formation, out of possession. There's 3 tabs, in possession, out of possession, and what? I don't know. I mean, they leaked the rules. That was definitely on accident by leaving them in the code of whatever thing was around Football Manager 25, at least. They leaked a lot of the new roles that they had. Yeah, that could just be some other, like... this might also just be you can add in different pieces of information here. Or each dot's one of your... Yeah, like, the next one's just match stats or something. It could not be your out-of-possession formation. It could be something else. Right? It could just be whatever. Tactics setup will be something now. There you go. I vote deliberate to have folk reacting, talking about it. Left too clear later in for not be... It's left in there very clearly later. All right, we'll see that. In the meantime, you have dynamic highlight mode, which, great. Could be good. Will most... I will believe it when I see it. Is that an acceptable explanation for you? Because most likely... for most people, it will either play too much or too little. Because once you put on dynamic, and from what I can see here, it's not like adjustable. Once you put on dynamic, you're going to be paying attention to when you get highlights. Like when I put on key, I'm just like, oh, these are all key highlights. I don't think about it as much. I will try it. I think everybody's going to try it. But I think it is a very difficult thing to balance one dynamic mode that everybody, you know, and obviously not everybody's going to use it, but you get what I'm saying, that everybody's going to be happy with when they try it. I think it's going to be a situation where, you know, it's going to be borderline comprehensive highlights towards the end of a game that's maybe not that important, or maybe I don't care about, but is allegedly important in the game. Because the factor that goes into this is what is important. Like, when is the match important? And Football Manager has always struggled with that, because your team will just randomly feel pressure in a match that you're like, this match really isn't that important. You know, you're like, I don't want 10 highlights the last 5 minutes. See, that's what I mean. They might just go like comprehensive towards the end of a random Premier League match because they think it's high pressure, or it's a derby or something. And then they're just going to key highlight you through a moment that maybe you wanted to watch more of. I don't know. Anything else on the screen? Match sounds, intro music. Tell me there's pre-match cutscenes with intro music. I didn't know there was intro music with those pre-match entrances and stuff. Pretty sick. And honestly, like visually, all of this stuff just looks better. And there's like the little visual representation of the highlights as well. Doesn't matter at all. I love it anyways.
Dynamic mode. A highlight option that adapts to every match, giving you the most.
Yeah, that's a very old FM header, isn't it?
Or crucial match, highlights will increase as full time approaches, but if you coast into victory, you'll see fewer.
I like this dribble move. He sets him up, then just cooks him. I think dribbling is going to be a lot more fun with that setup move. I had no idea how much standing your defender up before attacking them was going to matter. Definitely going to be a lot more fun.
And the glory. Upgraded stadiums breathe new life into every match day, from elite arenas to lower league grounds.
The lower league grounds look great. And I'm not going to lie, chat, the trees are so much better. Like, I am so fired up about how much... Dude, the trees are... Don't even get me started. These trees used to be like paper mache, you know, like 4 lines stuck together like something I made in 4th grade art class. These are actual trees. Football Manager is going to finally be able to properly celebrate Arbor Day. And that matters so much. We have real foliage. We have PUBG-looking buildings in the background. I feel like I am dropping in to PUBG in like 2016. And that is huge progress. If you say this sucks, bro, you have no idea where the trees were at before this. Okay, I had a breakdown on stream about where the trees were at before this. The trees, 10 out of 10. We have trees. Also, the lower league ground looks good. The lower league ground looks really good. I kind of want to do a save now where I'm like, I feel like you can watch you're going to get more of an atmospheric feel from your stadium and more of an emotional attachment to your home ground. And building that new stadium when you're like climbing up the leagues is going to be something really cool.
Elevated significance.
Right, it's going to be something really cool.
Now better reflects the location, stature, and standing of your club. On the pitch, a dramatic overhaul of lighting and textures transforms every detail, making each match look and feel truly authentic.
I'll tell you what, the night matches look a lot better though, don't they? Give me that night match shot. The night match looks so good. The day match looks a little washed out. Like the night match coloring looks amazing. This is like an evening match. It looks super sharp. That, you know, this is, yeah, that's like a golden hour match. That's good. I think they're still probably tweaking the lighting. It feels like they are.
Brand new cutscenes, making every match day more immersive and those big occasions even more special. Between the action and
okay, this is the screen. Yeah, okay. This is where they're totally like, oh, we didn't mean to put that there. Oh, we did. You know, like, they know. They know. They know people like me are going to be like, look what we found. Right? Formation in possession. And yeah, obviously you can look at you can look at your opponent's formation and possession. I like these expand buttons. So this is your dugout. You can expand the dugout. You can expand the latest scores when you're in one of those positions. You can click through the match stats and stuff. What I am not seeing is the ability to change any of it. I am not seeing the ability to change it. So, ride with me on this. I think this might be a less moddable visual game. Oh, wow, the scroll bar is terrible. What the hell? Maybe there's like something at the bottom of this, you know, Windows 95 scroll bar that can, what is this? It looks like somebody copied and pasted it on here out of Windows 95 or something. So maybe if it scrolls down, there's like an area to change it. I'm just saying, there doesn't look like if I'm looking at the screen, that doesn't look like there's a button that I can click to change what is displaying in these different places. That being said, this is sick. This right here is absolutely outstanding. This is amazing because you will now, if you like play key highlights or whatever, still be able to keep track of the flow of the match, where the danger is coming from. It honestly incentivizes you to simulate the match a little more slowly, even when there are no highlights. There's a setting. Well, yeah, the settings, but Okay. How many of y'all have played Football Manager before, right? Yes, there's a settings button in the top right. Of course. That's like your game and match settings. What I'm talking about is in previous Football Managers, there was like a button that you could click somewhere in here that would allow you to change what you were looking at on this screen. Top left.
Brand new match overview screen puts everything.
No, that's tactics, instructions, and mentality. Top right, the dots. That's just going to different things. I mean, okay. So the mod ability would be in, there are 3 things that you can have here. The old way was, here are a bunch of different windows. You can pull up whatever you want in all of these windows. Right click might lead to change. All right, maybe I'm wrong, chat. Maybe I'm wrong. It was just an observation that I had. There's no little like drop down arrow to change what's here, right? I have no idea. I'm looking at the same thing you are. I just got scared for a second that it wasn't super moddable. I just got scared for a second that it didn't look super moddable. Now, personally, I'm willing to change. I'm willing to make that change. I'd be willing to not change these at all for this. This is amazing. This is going to incentivize me to simulate matches slower so that I can keep track of the flow of the match down here and then go in for like key highlights. The scroll bar is not in the final version. I would imagine that would be the case because this is just a hilarious scroll bar.
With a classic 2D.
Like this is great. See, like as the simulation's going, you can keep we're really putting pressure on the left wing. You can make tactical changes based off what you're seeing in this window. They said in the forums, scroll bar is gone. Why are they still using the forums to announce this stuff? Okay. Good, though. Thank you.
Before you're pulled back into the action. Here,
it's literally gone in the next shot.
live match info and real-time advice from your assistant manager are always at hand, while expandable data cards give you deeper insight, powering smarter decisions.
That's a better header. Some of the headers look better, some of them don't.
Get closer to the action than ever, where every match tells its story. It's time to change the game.
All right. We broke down the highlights. We broke down the lighting. We broke down the dynamic highlights. They obviously are doing in possession and out of possession tactics. They've basically soft launched it with the way they've included it in this trailer. And the general match day experience. I feel like for a 3.5 minute video, they really just wanted to show off like the match engine a lot. But I mean, it was good. Like it's almost a tease. It's almost like, here, we're just going to show you a lot more of the match engine. We're just going to show you a lot more of what the matches look like. Just because we know you dirty little, like, this is what you want. This is what you want. This is what you want to see, you know? We're just going to give you more of this. The dynamic highlight stuff is cool. The in-match stuff is cool. We need to pause on these screens. So, like, the bottom here. Bro, right when the bar goes away. Oh. The bottom here, which is hid by the bar, which I can't... at least I don't think I have the ability to make go away without hitting play. You have your 5 subs. There's like arrows here that I'm assuming you can click to bring up more info. But it's clean and definitely smaller. So you get more of the like, I'm in the match experience. And then you've got your mentality, instructions, and tactics tucked to bed in the top left corner. I mean, we basically knew in possession and out of possession tactics were already in the game. They'd had the tactic, they'd had all the roles leaked, and the more we thought about it, the more it became fairly obvious that when the roles were leaked, they were, you know, there's going to have to be in possession and out of possession. I think it might accidentally simplify tactics this first year because I think there's going to be less roles for players because those roles are there's only going to be like 4 or 5 roles in possession and out of possession, right? I think that will expand over a couple of years and it will still feel super in-depth and still will be super in-depth because we're all going to be getting used to the idea that you basically have to set 2 tactics in one, right? And there's obviously a lot of different things you can do with that, like having a guy that's in a completely different position from where he is defensively, somebody's like great stamina or something and work rate, and you're going to be able to exploit that. And it's going to be even harder for the people at Football Manager to stop overly meta tactics. I'm sure people are going to figure some out over a couple of months, and like, you know, there's people that love doing just tactic testing. That's their favorite way to play the game, and you know, that's basically like, you know, trying to beat the system or something. And those people are going to figure it out. Now, I think overall, the answer to the question, what do I think of in possession and out of possession tactics, is I think it's a good idea. I think that's the way the game is played. I think for anybody that's ever played the game, it's when we're on defense, it looks like this. When we're on offense, that looks like this. If you go to matches these days, you will see players drop into a certain spot on defense after a while, but on offense, they're in this spot. And what Football Manager was trying to do for a long time was create that with roles, and then they basically just gave up, which is smart because you're never going to be able to create the amount of variety that people have tactically in real life with roles. What you need is, this is our tactic in defense, this is our tactic in attack, right? And these are the roles of each that dictate what that player is doing and maybe how quickly they're going to get to that spot. Yeah, it is a very good inclusion. And this is, right, a much larger step than a normal game. Right, we'll get into the broad takeaways. Like a normal year-to-year FM23 to FM24, this is a much bigger step than that. You're getting all sorts of serious improvements like this thing and in-possession, out-of-possession tactics and the UI, and obviously a significant step forward in the graphics and whatever. But it's still not at the A level for me, right? It's still, like, the graphics aren't overwhelmingly good. The match engine is still restricting it to a certain extent. Right, you're still getting your like weird gliding, and you're still getting right. We haven't separated ourselves from Football Manager and what it was. We've just made a much better looking, much more user friendly version of what Football Manager was. But we have not separated ourselves from, like, this doesn't feel like a completely new game in a good way. Obviously, there is a good thing about keeping, you know, that Football Manager vibe, right? Not losing that Football Manager vibe. But there's also a bad part of it, right? In that Football Manager players move a certain way. Headers, throw-ins, whatever. That just feels very familiar to people that have thousands of hours. And it's like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously like pre-alpha or whatever, but Paulinho and Sarr have goals, but Tottenham lost 2-1. That is funny. And then Arias, who allegedly had 3 goals, has like 1 ball. I don't know if he's supposed to have multiple balls. I mean, that's obviously not the point here, but it is either they missed that when they were kind of editing this together, or something's kind of messed up on the back end. Looks like I won't be needing a skin. Yeah, I mean, also very good thing to point out that when you look at the game and the match experience and this stuff in general, which I guess is what we're talking about, it's way better. Like the base game's visuals were so bad on the old Football Manager. And I know people love skins because that mod ability, and if they remove if they hem that ability in too much, people are going to be really mad. But the base game does look significantly better. It's not all, it's not like just purple with no spacing. Like this visually looks very good. Everything's readable. Information is presented well, although maybe not accurately, right? It is clear where you can go to see stuff. The space is filled. Like visually, it looks good. Wow, whatever we get 2025 New GAN managers. I mean, hopefully you won't need New GAN for this, my face pack thing. Hopefully you won't need it. Have we seen New Gen faces yet? I don't even know. Have we? Am I very positive or very negative about the game? I'm lukewarm. Now, obviously, take the fact that I'm tremendously excited to play it and can't wait to play it, and put that on one side. Being objective, I'm lukewarm on the game. I don't think it's bad by any means. It just, there was a potential that this was like a quantum leap. And it's not. We stayed in the same solar system. You know what I mean? Now, they said shouts were out of the last game, and clearly they haven't put that in here. Will creators get earlier access? I hope. It'd be really cool to make an alpha video. That would be great. I would love to have the game. Obviously, I haven't done that yet, so I don't have it. You need a quantum computer for that. Now, there was a potential that it was going to be a quantum leap, and it really is. It's like we're in the same solar system, but we have moved to a different part of the solar system. What does a quantum leap look like? I don't know. Players aren't gliding. You aren't getting the kind of Football Manager looking moves that we see in some of these highlights. To see if I can find like a good example. That cross was hilarious. I don't know where the cross was. Like that, the gliding that goes on and that touch. the weird looping ball, like that. Yeah, I don't know. There's a way that Football Manager gameplay has looked for a while, and some of that stuff is very clearly still in here. You know, very clearly still in here. The ice, yeah, play like more natural player contact, I think, is definitely a huge part of it. Somebody said players grappling and stuff. Like, yeah, look at the set piece. There's like no physical contact going on between players, but that of course happens all the time. I think one of the biggest things that makes Football Manager look unrealistic, when it does look really unrealistic, is the fact that players just don't really make contact with each other. Ever. Okay, somebody on YouTube just said this. Script, sorry. I think it's a very nice blueprint for the future. Yes. Not necessarily what I wanted to hear, but given the fact the last game was canceled, you figured something was going wrong. I think this is the game now, with what we're seeing, has so much more room to grow than when it was on its own engine. And this was a very painful process, and it was brutal, and they canceled a game for a year, and this game still might suck, right? But they have now converted the code. They have now brought the game into Unity, and there is no limitation on the engine side. It is a much higher potential game. Right? If they can figure out how to do it, they can make this look like FIFA, but of course with generic faces, because they don't have the rights to the player faces, right? But they now are in a much more limitless world that they can build on. Part of that does scare me, that they've done all this effort to try and get it into this world, that this game is not going to be great. But do you think modders will have... I mean, Unity is very mod-friendly, right? But that all just comes down to how Football Manager sets up the game. Do I think modders will have new ways to mod the game? They could. Unity is definitely mod-friendly. People can work within Unity to make stuff happen. My hope is that that is possible. But they have some face picks. Isn't that the same? I don't think so. I think it's probably a dual wielding thing where they don't have the face rights, so they don't want to zoom in too close to the faces, but also they don't really take the time to design the faces that well. So they don't want to like try to make Ronaldo and then he just looks really stupid. So they just go, oh yeah, it's just like a generic looking guy that kind of looks like him. What if EA buy SI? I really hope that doesn't happen. I really, really hope EA doesn't buy SI, because then you're going to get Ultimate Team knockoffs. Then you're going to get, everything's going to be more expensive, microtransactions, right? As much as people might criticize SI, and there are plenty of valid criticisms toward Sports Interactive. Plenty. We talk about them here. They're way better than EA. When it comes to the user experience, they're better than EA, in my opinion. And so, yeah, I hope that does not happen. I would rather that Sports Interactive just eventually figures it out over years how to make... Like, look at this dude's jersey. Right, he's celebrating, and you can see like the way that this jersey is mapped when he goes, yeah, the number 19 is tattooed to his back, and like there isn't like an actual jersey there. It's just tattooed to his back. You can't see what I'm looking at. I need to move. You see how he's celebrating here, and his jersey is like his numbers pulled up, right? There isn't that kind of jersey physical, right? We're very far away from a actual realistic-ish looking match of football. You know? I have never suspected SI of messing up in bad faith. Yeah. Every mistake Sports Interactive makes is a genuine error. It is a genuine mistake. I do think Sports Interactive habitually, misunderstands what it's capable of, almost as like practice at the company. Completely misunderstanding what they are capable of and what they should be focusing on. But I am also not somebody that works there. I am just a dude. I'm just the same as any of you guys, a person that's watching my favorite game going, wish they would do this, But I think they habitually either underestimate themselves or don't realize what the game could be. But yeah. Did they change net physics at all? I don't know. Actually, I didn't really notice the net, which I guess is a good thing. I didn't really notice the net. Yeah, I mean, look, I am incredibly excited to play the game. I am going to put a ton of hours into it. It is going to be a huge improvement from where we were, as long as it's like bug free and stuff, right? There aren't any game breaking bugs or whatever. I'm at the B level right now for my grade, like B plus level. They're on their way, yeah. They're on their way. But that's just it for me. I'm at that B level. Has the marketing been better? I mean, the marketing's been, there's more like match vids and these vids and stuff, but the game is not marketed well. It never has been. It probably never will be. I don't even think they know how to market the game, to be perfectly honest. I'm not an expert at all. I just I found the game because my friend heard about the game on like Reddit or something. You know what I mean? That's the only reason I exist. I mean, this marketing push has clearly been planned and stuff, but it's just, how do I word this? I think Sports Interactive is a very conservative company when it comes to taking risks on things like marketing and in-game design. I think they're very, very safe with the things that they do. So with the marketing, they're basically doing what they know and what they've done for every other game and just turning it up a little bit. They're just, the video's a little longer, a little more enthusiastic, music's a little louder, right? What would SI have to do to make it an A rating for you? They would needed to have added a few more things to make the game look more realistic. I mean, really. That right there would be like, keep in mind, this rating is based on the fact we have not seen the majority of the game. We've had one UI video. We've had like 2 match videos. You know, we haven't gotten in and played it. We've also seen what they wanted us to see.
One of these every 3 to 4 weeks. Happy anniversary, Zed.
Suspicious Mallard with the $26 super chat. Can't believe you're still live. In Northern Ireland, it's 10 p.m. You say you know history. What do you know? It's 1690 in the history of Northern Ireland. Netherlandsis and older than America. I actually don't know. I actually don't know what you're talking about. And anytime I run into something I don't know what you're talking about, like I'm now going to look up the history of Belgium and the history of Northern Ireland and whatever that Netherland word is. Thank you for the $26, Suspicious Mallard. I'm sorry I didn't see it till now. I don't have like noise from the YouTube notifications, but I do see them eventually. It just takes me a bit to see them. Thank you. That is huge. That is the biggest donation we have ever gotten on the Zealand Live channel. So that is for you. You deserve an anime wow. SI is a pathetic, woke garbage company. It's terrible. This guy's afraid of girls. No, I think Sports Interactive is a very conservative company when it comes to taking chances, which is not necessarily a bad way to be. They just, like, their advertising is going to be what it is. They're going to have like a rollout plan. They're going to be very secretive about it and then drop like a 3-minute video with a voiceover like, live out your dreams. Take a club to the top flight. This is your moment to take the reins and take control. You know, like that sort of VO that they just paid some dude on Fiverr to do, right? That's just what they're going to do. And that's who they are. And you know what? They make my favorite game. So how critical can I be of that? Nobody's perfect. Sports Interactive's obviously been far from perfect the last 2 years, but they move slow, right? They move slow in any direction they're going. It's a very conservative approach. Yeah. How would I market it? Oh, how would I market Football Manager? Oh my goodness, dude. You know what's a bona fide viral video every time that FIFA just dunks all over people on? They've got the Premier League license. Get a bunch of Premier League players unboxing Football Manager and checking their ratings. You can get me in there. Maybe they don't like me. Get somebody else in there. Get somebody that plays Football Manager sometimes in there to be like, you know, managing against these people. Right? You've got Antoine Griezmann, the Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembele is an FM head, dude. Dembele plays Football Manager when traveling to matches. You can't give me an unboxing video of him checking out his rating after, like, they could get viral short videos out of this stuff. You know what I mean? And they do, you can tell, like, a little while ago, you invest in, like, a professionally produced commercial. But as somebody that works in media, those professionally produced commercials, with like a guy coming, like a guy training on the field and there's a cone there and he's like running back and forth between the cones. And then you get the shot of him reaching down to touch the cone and it's like super intense. It's like train your team, voiceover and stuff. Those things cost way more than they're worth. You know what I mean? That's just off the top of my head. But like anytime you're investing in one of those, we have a marketing budget. We don't know what to do with it. So we're going to make some sort of generic commercial and we're going to pay this production company too much money to do it. Like as somebody that comes from the media world, those things are always overpriced. They are always too expensive. Like you do not want to do those things. Yeah. Unless you're EAFC, right? And you're also using it as a way to promote your game, right? It like weaves back and forth between gameplay and real life. The Football Manager didn't do that when they had their commercial. I think Sports Interactive also, because it has a really nerdy strategy game following, which it just kind of pretends it doesn't have. Sports Interactive loves its connections to the world of football. It loathes its connections to gaming, right? It does not sell itself. All of its selling points are always on its connections to the world of football and not the game mechanics and stuff. That's just the way they lean. But if they did like early preview streams, I will do one. TwitchCon in San Diego is from the 17th to the 20th this year. That is right when the alpha could be coming out, although that leak said that it was coming out the 21st. Hit me up. I will do a stream from the Sega booth of an early look at the game. You'll get foot traffic. 1 billion people will be watching it. I mean, that's obviously a hyperbole, but you know what I mean. It'll be an early alpha look at the game, live from TwitchCon, which is like a gaming mecca, from the Sega booth to endear yourself to your Sega overlords. That's just another I mean, these are marketing ideas that I'm coming up with in 15 minutes that feel good. Fishing? Yeah, it would be great. That would be a boon for me. But it also doesn't have to be me. Much preferred, they'd be able to get like Antoine Griezmann or freaking, what's his name? Sergio Aguero. He streams. Get him. You can do you can also just get Miles. Miles is playing this game all the time. That's why he decided he was going to cancel it. Put the chat in meme only mode so that you don't have to interact with the public and just have him stream on the official Football Manager Twitch account. Right? There's so many different things you can add into this. It doesn't even have to be Miles. Make it like one of the different game directors. You can do all this different stuff. And that's just like my experience in the creator and gaming industry is like how different games promote themselves. Right? I mean, look, I did a promotion with NBA 2K. I love basketball. 2K was like, hey, we'll give you this kind of early access code to the game. Would you want to just stream it? Like, yeah, I will do that. They're a company that gets stuck in their ways very easily, and it takes them a long time and a slow time to move in another direction. They should contextualize real-life football moments within the mechanics of the game. Honestly, now that they have the Premier League license, I feel like they should be leaning into that more. Like, highlighting specific players, those specific players scoring goals or whatever. A small tournament with a couple creators would be awesome. Yeah, but that's just too self-aggrandizing to recommend. I don't know. I mean, look at a bunch of different companies. I mean, some companies will do like creator. I mean, you could get like a Battlefield 6 or something. They'll do like creator lobbies, when the game's just coming out to promote it and, get a bunch of clips and stuff. And they'll pay streamers and YouTubers to be like, post X number of clips. You have to get X number of views from clips and you have to keep posting clips until you get to X number of views to fulfill the contract or whatever. And then they go and yeah. But basically, I think there are a couple of things in here that I really liked. And outside of that, this reinforced where I feel like where I'm at and how I feel about the game right now. So that is where it is. I don't know, chat. Here's what I want you to do. On a scale from A+ to F, A+ being the best and F being the worst. Do this on YouTube, do this on Twitch. Where are you grading the game so far based off what you've seen? I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll come back and react to it. All right. Where do you got? I'm scrolling up. So we got some B's, B+. You guys are kind of in with me. We got A-. You got some B's. A. I'm seeing some C's as well. I'm interested to hear from the A's and the C's because obviously people that are in the B range are genuinely agreeing with kind of where I'm at. But I definitely want you to form your own opinion. I saw one person throw an F. I'm just going to assume that you're trolling because I haven't seen a lot of those. I see a D. I see some B's, some A's. Definitely more A's than C's. So I think I might be on the low side as far as everything's concerned. I think I might be on the low side as far as all the reactions concerned. Poll is up. Ooh, there is a poll going on Twitch about where that rating is. Be sure to vote in that poll as well. Not the B's. Oh, not the B's. I would love some better player interactions. Yeah, I mean, they haven't really talked about that at all, though, have they? When you make your game developing decisions based on inclusive gender or race ideology instead of focusing on improving the game, you are a woke garbage company. I'm sorry, is the idea here that being inclusive is a bad thing? I mean, obviously, gender or race ideology, those are just buzzwords, so I have no idea. Your definition of that's going to be way different than mine, but the idea of being inclusive, it's probably just rage bait, right? Yeah, I think it's the same guy. Apparently being inclusive is a bad thing, like, you know, making sure everybody's okay. I'd rather just bully people in middle school, personally. A-, I get that it's maybe not a finished project, but loads have been added to the game, massive graphical overhaul, and it's a market improvement. It's a major leap forward. Okay, I get the explanation for an A- there. Because I don't necessarily disagree with everything that you just said, you know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily disagree with that. If this is FM25, B, but after 2 years, this is an A, because I'm so... This is the most honest person in chat. Is Luke Cooper on YouTube. If this was FM25, it'd be a B. But after 2 years, this is an A because I'm so ready for a new FM. It's an A because I'm so excited to play the most honest person in chat right there. It's an A just because I'm so ridiculously excited to play a new game at this point. Oh, it was, who said the C thing? I voted C. Principal Agent voted C. Too little match engine progress. I get that. Too little match engine progress. A lack of physics between players. Also negative that they have close to zero info about the club management and big minus with international management. Yeah, I get the lack of international management. I still think it's going to be in the game. They just haven't announced it yet. If it's not in the game, that totally changes my perception. An A due to withdrawals. Exactly. I'm rating this an A because I'm having Football Manager withdrawals and I need to play the game immediately. That's why. C, mostly wait and see. They're only showing cool highlights, but it's comprehensive or sometimes full match highlights player. I want to know how smart or stupid the player logic is. That's a very reasoned take right there. That's very reasoned. And also very aligned with like the way you play personally, which is very smart. The way you play and enjoy the game personally matters and is going to determine your rating and how good you think the game is. How to improve international management? I mean, look, they didn't replace international management with women's football. They were going to include women's football in the game for years, and they removed international management because them trying to switch over to Unity was taking up too much bandwidth, and they weren't going to be able to, like... Basically, the way Miles made it sound is they wanted this to be FM 2.0, so they didn't want to include any of the bad old things, and clearly international management was some sort of sick sibling that they had just been, like, not fixing for years, but they knew was messed up. And going into this new era, they wanted to be able to fix it, but they didn't have the time, so they just removed it. They did the same thing with shouts, right? But with the extra year, that should have been priority number one for them to put back in, right? I'm hoping they announce some loot boxes. It's a C for me. True, dude. Not enough microtransactions. You owe us the saltiest video ever if they don't include international management. I did promise that. And that will be cool. I hope I don't do that. I hope international management is just in the game. What if they put a patch with international? Totally depends like how all that goes down, Zachlin. Totally depends how all that goes down. If they put a patch with international management in, it just depends on how they present it, when it happens. If they literally do it like in June, they're like, oh, it's a World Cup patch. Like, okay. I just love the international side of the game, dude. You guys know I love the international side of the game, and it's such a cool, unique thing in the world to have. Yeah. Clash Royale style loot boxes. If you win a game, you get a box which include remove injury, get X amount of money, boost morale. February update with international management. If they wait until a February update to put international management in the game, bro, they better not. They better not do that to me. They better not do that to me. Do you have a save in mind? No, my mind is an empty canvas. Completely empty, ready to be painted with Football Manager knowledge. For international management, are they going to mix up? Are they going to mix up women and men in the same national team? Why? I mean, no, but that would be a funny glitch, though, because it does all exist in the same world. So it'd be a really funny glitch if it was like international call-ups, and then all of a sudden the women went to the men's team and the men went to the women's. Or like something like you open your national team pool and all the men and women are there, and you're like, all right. I can see how in game code like that glitch would happen. Afro Chuck, thank you for the 50 months. That would be really funny if that was like a glitch. But no, I think that it'll work the same way they're doing it with the clubs, where it all exists in the same world, but they're obviously different national teams and different competitions.